welcome to a new episode of Short Track Sportkulturnes. Today we're taking a look at China's 2000-meter mixed relay team. And yes, that's right, we will be talking about relays in this video, and I'm very excited to do that because there's just so many things that goes on throughout a relay race from a technical and a tactical perspective that we would normally be blind to, perhaps not realize in normal speed, but when we play it in slow motion, there's just so many interesting things that can happen in a relay race. And yeah, today I wanted to in particular take a look at the Chinese 2000 meter mixed relay team who won here the first stop of the World Tour last season in Montreal. So it's very interesting, the legacy for China and the 2000 meter mixed team relay. Of course, if you've been watching the sport for some time now, you would know that they really had great success in this event. They're definitely the most successful team in this distance. They've won the first ever World Cup event that was hosted in the 2018-2019 season in Calgary. They've won the first one there. They've won the first ever junior world title in the 2000 meter mixed team relay, as well as the first youth Olympic title, and of course the Olympic title in 2022 on their home ice in Beijing, as well as the second world title ever was when we hosted this event 24 in Rotterdam. So yeah, it's been a very successful team, and always very interesting to watch China in particular in the relay. No matter what relay it is, it's just very interesting. The traditional Chinese short track is usually in the relay. It's very quiet, very subtle, very simple. It's like a very quiet, very long journey that they end up just crossing the line first somehow, some way. And today we'll look at some of the stuff that they really do so well in the relay. Obviously, this team, I treat them like a set. I say this team is, very slowly but slowly goes and makes a move one by one, picks them up one by one. The team's in front of them slowly but slowly, so one step at a time. They've got great technical, soft and efficient pushes. I'll tell you what that means. And they've got clean and comfortable corner exits. Going into handing over the exchange, they hook up, kind of technically been able to hook up very cleanly, handling the centrifugal force so tight coming out of the corner and cleanly hand over the exchange. And they have great energy management. And one thing also is very interesting, that they really just do everything right. It's just as simple as that. They do everything right, and that's one of the many reasons they've been very successful in this event. So today we'll take a look at some of the stuff that does so well right here in the A final, the 2000 mixed team relay in Montreal right here. So yeah, let's get into it. You see here they're competing as the Chinese lungs in lane number 4, the worst lane position to be in this race. And this team consists of Wang Shenran, Zhang Shutong, Sun Long, and the anchor leg was Liu Xiaowang right here. So pretty interesting team. It's pretty textbook lineup. Of course, they utilize Wang Shenran, the sprinter and the better starter here. The start line, Zhang Shutong, more the distance skater in the second position. Then Sun Long, kind of the explosive skater, handing over in the kind of the first male position, and then the anchor, the superhuman athlete that is Liu Xiaowang. Very tough to pass, so he's perfect for that position. He's also very experienced, so it was very interesting how they got that lineup together. They also can mix their team because they just have so much depth in that squad. So yeah, let's get into it. As I've said, lane number 4 is just the worst position. See, very good starters: Chai Min-Zhang, Courtney Sarau, Michelle Velzabor. Wang Shenwan is not going to get around them on the start line. It's a pretty good, very textbook start. She does it right. Great strides here, not the longest, but she does very well to stay with Michelle Velzabor. So Courtney Sarau getting around Chai Min-Zhang for the first corner right here. See the technique of Wang Shenran right here, pretty textbook for her body build. She's wearing the face shield as well, it's pretty interesting. Michelle Velzabor as well doing that. And remember that if you watch relays in short track, you would always know that luck is always part of the relays. I'm going to show what I mean by that later on. But that's just one thing to keep in mind. You see Courtney Sarau looking behind her right here, seeing no one making a move on her at this position early on. Wang Shenran just trying to follow here. It's just teamwork. Just perfect teamwork, the Chinese team. In any relay, at any point of time, they just utilize the concept, the very refined concept of teamwork very well. As you can see, Courtney Sarau taking a bit of wide exit right here. Chai Min-Zhang set up an inside pass, but she can't because Courtney Sarau notices that and shuts the door. Michelle Velzabor trying to capitalize right here, going a bit wide and perhaps planning to send Alexandra on the exchange here. But Chai Min-Zhang holds the centrifugal force well, defends against Michelle Velzabor. Wang Shenran, she really can't keep up with these guys early on. She's just following through, waiting for the exchange to come. See the ice maples right here on the front. Then I be now look at the timing here. Now this is the first exchange. We can learn something very interesting here. The timing is very important on the pushes. Now, even though they're from the same nation, the skaters can have different timing, different technique, different arm length, kind of the wingspan, and just different timings in general. So it's can be confusing really how these exchanges are made. They're very technical, and it's just very beautiful to learn about it. I mean, look here. Ideally, you want to have a long push. The arms need to get. It's just not about speed and power. It's about carrying the momentum. You know, the momentum and the speed that you have. You have to transfer that to the skill that you're handing over the exchange. So ideally, it has to be like according to right here. You see, she's not pushing with so much power, but her arm length kind of reaches its full kind of capacity to give the push to the blade, so she can get all of the momentum of Courtney Sorbo right here. And see the Chinese team does the same thing, kind of not getting in the way there, and they just transfer all of their speed cleanly and beautifully to the other skaters that are coming out to the ice. Now Kim Gilly right here perhaps was thinking that I have to make a move on the eye blade looking behind it predicting that, and that's why it didn't work for Kim Gilly, because it was just too predictable, and that's also why it's so hard to pass in the mixed relay and in relays in general, because it's just too predictable. When you're in a situation like this, you would think right away that you can pass. Kim Gilly coming here a bit tight here, not aware of Alexandra Velzebor. That's a bit of a mistake that Kim Gilly made. Alexandra Velzebor capitalizes here. They go shoulder to shoulder. Kim Gilly loses a bit of her speed here after Alexandra makes the inside pass. And see Jiang Zhuchong from China now making something very interesting. He comes up the inside, capitalizing over the loss of speed of Kim Gilly. You know, she's not doing anything special. She's just doing everything right. You know, she just squeezes in there. Not the best inside pass, but they go shoulder to shoulder there, and she just cleanly makes it stick. Just makes it look very simple. You know, that's why you have to do capitalize over the opportunities. Just try it kind of slowly but slowly, one step at a time, and get nearer to the front. And that's something that the Chinese team traditionally and historically does so well, as they get into position number 3 here. See now, Daniel Blay from Canada here on the front, still leading this one. Gonna hand over to the men. Now this is a very interesting exchange here in the mixed relay, because the women don't carry kind of the genetical strength of the men, so it can become a bit of a fickle. It's gonna give them the push because they're gonna be also a bit taller as well. So that's something they spend hours kind of practicing and training. So we're gonna get here right now, show you how this works. Again, Kim Gilly just slipping a bit there, not able to catch him Jong on time, so they lose a bit of speed. Look at Danae Blay right here. Again, not powerful, but she shoves them right here. That's good track pattern right here. Good time and good track pattern to defend against the Dutch skater coming in the inside. You're gonna shove them like this, transfer all the momentum, and you just give them the full push with your arm swing. Use all of your arm swing to transfer all the momentum and all the speed with great timing. Unlike the Korean team here, Kim Gilly slept a bit, so they couldn't kind of keep up here. But Im Jong-un comes in and just closes the gap right away. As we got with 13 laps to go, 8.92 lap time from the Ice Maples by Felix Roussel on the front. It becomes very tough to pass in this relay. See a great corner exit there by Felix Roussel. Soonlong tries to set up a pass on Tillmore right here, doesn't stick. And then Im Jong-un now tries to make the pass right here. He capitalizes over that, and he tries to go for the double inside pass. He tries to make it stick right here, but Tillmore, look at Tillmore how he holds the centrifugal force so tight coming out of this corner. This guy is so underrated in the relays. He does so many things so well, Tillmore. And Im Jong-un losing a bit of his footing there. You see now, Tillmore is taking that right back. Look at how tall this guy. He just pushes through. Look at how long these strides are. He goes back to the inside of Im Jong-un. They go shoulder to shoulder right here, and he just somehow just squeezes through there. This costs him a bit of the speed. They go shoulder to shoulder here. Soonlong just comfortably comes up the inside, again capitalizing over the mistakes of those two. And he just makes it look so simple. He made it like that looks so easy. But again, luck, as I've said in the beginning of the video, is always part of the relay. That's always one thing to keep in mind. As you can see, Im Jong-un takes the pass right back from Tillmore. They got penalized for that later on, but watch the Lungs team right here. Now they're making up that gap. And this is the first time Liu Xiaowang hits the ice, and right away he takes 2 crossovers in, following Steven Dubois right here. He was coming in such great form, Liu Xiaowang, 8.46 lap times, carrying that speed from Soonlong earlier on. And he was just flying out there. Look at the focus here by Liu Xiaowang. Takes that draft behind Steven Dubois and tries to slowly but slowly, one step at a time, close that gap. and try to get into a leading position. Look at how beautiful the corner exit right here makes it look so easy, full of clarity, hooks up so wide, and then takes his corner entry very wide right here, trying drafting behind Steven Dubois, looking for the opportunity. The 8.30 lap time. He's negative splitting Steven Dubois right here. Just look at how he holds the centrifugal force so tight. Steven Dubois just flying out of that corner going wide. But Louis Xiaowang is just hooking up so tight. Look at that. He makes it look so easy. Great strides. Gets inside pass right here. Jumps out of Steven Dubois. Makes the inside pass look so effortless. Louis Xiaowang. And now the Ice Maples from 4th to 3rd. Another back to the lead right here. By 8.09 lap time. That is super fast. Here with 9 laps to go. Chinese lungs back to the front. Again, it's like a journey. They've been in 4th, they've been in 3rd, they've been in 2nd, and now they're in the lead. No, it's just slowly but slowly, one step at a time. But I'll tell you what, the race is not over yet. They still have a lot of laps to go. And that's just what's so interesting about the relays. It's just never over until it's over. Now a great corner exit by Lu Xiaowang. They give the push for Wang Qinran right here. Not perfect timing by Wang Qinran, but she carries the speed pretty well. But again, this is the most difficult exchange from man to woman, because the genetical strength of the male skaters are usually just so kind of greater to the woman's strength that the speed that they're handing, the momentum that they're handing to the woman is just too much. So that's why it's so difficult to get, get the exchange cleanly right here. See, Wang Qinran and Courtney Sol struggling a bit of the exit right here. And that's why Courtney Sol is losing a bit of her ground here, because the exchange from male to the female skater is just so difficult. It's really the skater who can do that technically very well, so the one who will do very well here in the relay. See Courtney Sol not closing that gap right away to Wang Qinran, but still closes it here. 8.21 lap times right here by Lu Xiaowang handing over to Wang Qinran. She does really well right here. She's getting really good lap time, track patterns to try to hold off Courtney Sarot. Now Wang Qinran right here is perhaps kind of the weak leg. I don't want to say the weak leg, but perhaps not the strongest leg here in the mixed relay. But she does so well. She knows her weakness. She knows what she has control of. And she does so well right here to hold off Courtney Sarot. 8.69 lap times, 8.59. Look at this. Courtney Sarot just negative splitting Wang Qinran by a whole tenth here. But still, Wang Qinran technically exits that corner so tight. And it's just a clean exchange right here. She gets before Courtney Sarot, who drifted a bit wide there. Wang Qinran is lighter than Courtney Sarot, and that's why she can hook up a bit tighter and get to the exchange to her teammate to hand over the exchange a bit more cleaner and earlier, and transfers all the momentum to Zhang Chutong right here. Though Courtney Sarot is negative splitting Wang Qinran right here, she hands over more speed to Danai Blay, but Danai Blay was unable to handle that speed, the pressure of the competition. She goes down right here, unfortunately. And that opens the door for the Lions right here, the Dutch, to close that gap. See, Alexandra Velzebor definitely not what we want to see behind you at that point of the race. But she's trying here to close that gap to Zhang Chutong right here. She's negative splitting 8.79, 8.95 by Zhang Chutong. And Alexandra Velzebor transitions that speed into a beautiful, just a pulchritudinous late inside pass on Zhang Chutong. There's no way you can stop that because she's just moving faster here, right? 8.66 and 9.14 by Zhang Chutong. There's no way you can stop that, right? That's 7/10 faster. And she just transitions that speed into a beautiful light inside pass. The lungs once again trapped into position number 2, dropped to the back, but the race is never over until it's over in short track speed skating. See now Zhang Chutong doing so much work right here, hooking up so tight coming out of that corner and handing over very clean here to Sun Long. They lost a bit of ground here, because Alexander has already handed over the push to Toon Boer. He can get his crossovers first and fly away from this one, but Sun Long very calm, very composed. Just drafting behind Toon Boer right here, makes that gap pretty much right away. He's just flying here, Toon Boer looking at his back. This guy is back already? And, well, yeah, he is right back, right here. Sun Long sitting very calm, very composed. He knows that Lu Xiaowang still has 2 laps to go, and that's why he's not rushing it. He made a bit of a mistake here. He went a bit wide. He was still looking over his shoulder. He went a bit wide here, and that was a big mistake here. I think he was looking for the outside pass right here, or perhaps to hook up very tight and get an inside pass, but that opened the door for Rin Jong-un to come back, and he makes an inside pass right here. Watch this. He holds the centrifugal force so tight, and he's just locked in into getting position number 2 right here. Sun Long not sure what he's doing here. I think he was trying for the outside pass, but that clearly didn't work. and he loses his position once again. That was a mistake by Sun Long that almost cost him the race, but Im Jong-un makes the inside pass right here. Now watch Tunbo right here, he drifts a bit wide, not holding that centrifugal force very nicely coming out of that corner, and they almost lost the position. Look at how late they are to the push right here. They're still in the lead, so they still wanted to hand over a pretty good push, unlike the Korean White Tigers right here. Lee Jong-min, technically such a beautiful skater, he's able to carry that speed and defend against Liu Xiaowang right here. 8.48 lap times. Now ideally the White Tigers should have been able to transition that speed into a pass, but Lee Jong-min didn't get the best of exchanges, and that's what really did him dirty. See now Mela Vanuatu right here. Ken Jens was kind of nursing a bit of an illness, so he was not the one anchoring the team here. Lee Jong-min normally would make the pass right here. He gets a bit of a slip here, coming out of that corner, and Liu Xiaowang, look at all that, he sees all of that, and he starts planning, starts analyzing what he's going to do here. Melville are doing so much work out front. 8.59 right here, 5.6 right here, you can transition that into a pass, but a bit of a slip here by Lee Jong-min, he drifts a bit wide, and Liu Xiaowang is just locked in here in the final lap. He grabs 1 and 2. It's a double inside pass right here. See Liu Xiaowang shorter strides than Mela Vanuatu. He comes at the inside of him, carrying more speed in this position. Somehow, somewhere, makes a beautiful double inside pass. And Lee Jong-min almost trying to take that back from Mela Vanuatu, but it's a little too late. They got a penalty for that, and the Chinese lungs all the while just made that look so easy. Celebrating, he knows that they're not going to catch him at this position. What a race by the Chinese lungs. Such a great race, and as you've seen, it wasn't perfect. You know, the luck was involved. Well, luck was part of it. But in relays, luck is always involved, and you need always those small bits of luck to fall into your favor. They did some small mistakes, but they were able to capitalize over what they had control of in order to get into this position right here and win the race. Such a great legacy, the Chinese lungs. As I said, it's like a journey. They've raced from position 4, 3, 2nd, and they've exchanged the lead twice. They've been in every single position at this race, but in the end, it's just the finish line, and where you finish is what really matters in the relay. And yeah, so fun to watch this team. They're always kind of invisible during the relays, but on other days, it's when they cross the line first that we start to notice them and kind of analyze what they do so well. Those Chinese teams, they almost did no mistakes. You know, they almost did everything right. And ideally, you want to do everything right in the relay. That's all what you have control of, and that's what can get you in this position right here to win the relay race. It's such great emotions to be able to win as a team. I'm going to show you right here the victory ceremony. Here they are, celebrating together as a team here. You see, you can race more skaters from the qualifying round. They had Gong Li as well as some of the male skaters. You see Zhang Bohao and Li Wenlong raced as well in the qualifying round, so all of them was able to win the gold medal together. So that's also what's great about the relay, because more skaters can win medals, and that's something the Chinese team kind of capitalized over kind of so well in this event to win the gold medal. Unfortunately, they were not able to defend the Olympic title, but as I've shown you today how capable this team is, and just how invisible they seem to be during the relays, and how they slowly but slowly can never give up and always get back to the front of the race somehow, someway during the relays. Like a journey, like a long journey. As I've seen, they've exchanged just about every single position from 4th to 3rd to 2nd to the 1st, and then dropping back to 2nd, and then going again to the lead. It's just an endless journey, but they can manage to win this, and that's why they're so good in the mixed relay. And yeah, so I want to show you for today the mixed 2000 meter relay team for the Chinese lungs. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.